Good morning. Good morning. Fáilte is deacha thola cathrach bailachlí Maidin, agus Maidin all an atá sé. I'm Dahi Downey, Dublin City Council. It's my great pleasure to introduce our MC this morning, Joy Eniola, who is our lead on a number of matters, and particularly the Intercultural Ambassadors Programme in the North East Inner City. So I'll just hand it straight over. Joy, to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dahi Downey. I'm already getting this wrong. Good morning, everyone. As Dahi said, my name is Joy Eniola, and I'm honoured to welcome you here. Thank you. That's Yoruba from Nigeria. I'm delighted to welcome you all to the Dublin City Council's launch of the Integration and Inclusion Week. This is a very important week in Dublin City's calendar. And just to start us off with this morning's programme of event, I would like to introduce the Lord Mayor of Dublin City, the first citizen of Dublin City, and Lord Mayor Alison Gilliland. You're very welcome.
Good morning, everybody. It's lovely to be here and also lovely to meet some of you in person. I think we've been Zoomed out of it over the last 18 months, and I only met Joy and heard of her great work on Friday, so it's a pleasure to meet our wonderful MC today. So we're formally launching Dublin City's Inclusion and Integration Week 2021 today. And it's our opportunity to showcase and platform the incredible work being delivered across Dublin City Council to promote diversity and integration and to deliver greater social inclusion in our city. We know the societal, environmental, education and health-related challenges we all face, and these can only be met by us standing together as a community. In Dublin City, we are showing our incredible resolve to continue to work through the direct and indirect impacts of COVID-19. While our resilience has been tested over the course of this pandemic, what I see to the fore is our everyday kindness and how our spirit continues to shine through in these extraordinary, challenging times. Our public, community and voluntary service support all our citizens, but most importantly, those who feel less empowered, those who may feel isolated because of age, disability, or because they lack the local connections, or those for whom English is not their first language. This is the core focus of this year's Inclusion and Integration Week activities. Our ambition is to make Dublin a city for all. Dubliners live in an increasingly diverse, multi-layered, multicultural city. We are more challenged than ever before to better realise the future of our city as an inclusive, dynamic, prosperous and indeed fair city to live in, to work in and to recreate in. When we speak of diversity, we are not speaking about other people. We speak of diversity, we speak about ourselves. We are all diverse, unique, special. Diversity is the traits and characteristics that make us unique, whether that be our gender, our age, our abilities, our culture and ethnicity, indeed our own unique personalities. Inclusion is the way we behave and the choices we make, and integration is the result, if we do it the right way. This way, we can make others feel included and part of our shared society, and this is central to the idea of a city for all. We need to meet, tackle and eliminate poverty and material deprivation in our city and society, and to remove the barriers to participation and integration. We need to remain active and resolute in our focus on doing what works to bring forward this clear ambition of a city for all, a city of belonging, inclusion and participation, a city of collaboration, connection and partnerships across all spheres of society. To realise this, everyone needs to be empowered to take ownership and to meet the challenges of joined-up action so that across Dublin our communities are thriving, healthy places where we work to deliver accessible and quality public services in health, welfare, justice, housing, education and training, and where we can create and maintain decent jobs and employment. Throughout this week, Dublin City is curating an extensive and invigorating programme of online events and in-person events that demonstrate the broad spectrum of collaboration between and within Dublin City Council and other agencies fundamental to our civic welfare. It would also be remiss of me not to mention one of the most significant and positive outcomes of our work this year, the confirmation that Dublin has received the Unesco Learning City Award for 2021. We have with us today Denise Mcmurray, Student Experience Manager at IADT, co-chair of Dublin Learning City, who is just back from the UNESCO Annual Conference of Learning Cities in Seoul, South Korea, where she accepted this prestigious award on behalf of the city. According to UNESCO, a learning city embodies a culture of lifelong learning that promotes quality and excellence of learning, facilitates learning in the workplace, and fosters an atmosphere of inclusion for all members of society at every level of education. Thank you, Denise, and your co-chair Sean Delaney and Emer Murphy of the Marino Institute of Education, and other partner organisations, including our own community staff here in DCC. An award like this is not given lightly, and it's a strong testament to how much work has gone into creating an inclusive educational environment in our city, not just for those who transition easily from one level of education to the next, but for people from all walks of life, such as early school leavers, lone parents, members of the travelling community, and refugees. The UNESCO Award recognises the significant strides that Dublin Learning City has made to create an inclusive learning environment by implementing UNESCO's guiding principles and sustainable development goals into its best practice. In particular, the fourth goal, ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all. That goal is one of the pillar aspirations of the coming week, Inclusion and Integration Week. To ensure inclusivity and equity in everything we do must be particular in the area of lifelong learning. To conclude, I would like to thank the Dublin City Council team behind this week, Dr. Dahi Downey, and his community and his colleagues in the Community, Social Development and Research section, Paul, Joanna, Bernie, Mary and Beatrice. Most importantly, I'd like to thank all of you for being involved in this week, whether it's organising an event, participating or providing support. Remember, we're all different, which is great because we're all unique, and without that diversity, life would not be as beautiful or interesting as it is. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lord Mayor. And I think part of why I'm here is to show the diversity between people who can speak as eloquently as yourself and people who let the nerves get the better of themselves like me. And just now that my nerves have had time to settle down, I would like to remind you all that there is an exit right in front of me, and there's one on the left, which is something I should have started with and I forgot, but that's okay. Nerves are allowed in Dublin City Council. And also just to say that while you're remaining seated and socially distanced, please leave your mask on. Thank you very much. The Lord Mayor has already mentioned the Dublin City Learning City Award, and as someone who myself has come from a different country into Ireland 20 years ago, I consider myself very Irish, but my journey to education was not one that wasn't fraught with difficulties. I always studied as a mature student and worked while I studied, and I'm very excited about this partnership between Dublin City Council and the Dublin Learning City in terms of making learning accessible for all. I think we've come from the days where learning or education was a luxury activities for people who had loads of time. And I think the more that the city strives towards making sure that even people who have a little bit of time or people who have slightly different needs are addressed and looked at in their journey towards learning, I think this is a very fruitful partnership indeed. And as Denise reminded me today, this is only the beginning of this partnership, and I hope it's a long-term one as well. And so to tell us more about Dublin Learning City, I would like to invite Denise Mcmurray, who is the co-chair of Dublin Learning City. Thank you, Denise.
Thank you, everyone, and thanks for listening, and thanks for giving us the invite. I feel very honoured to be here today, and in particular, thank you, Lord Mayor Alison Gilliland. We really appreciate all your support, friends and colleagues. We are thrilled today to be here. As you rightly said, Joy, we travelled the whole way to Korea a little over a week ago, Emer, Murphy and I, to collect the award on behalf of the Lord Mayor, and we're thrilled to say that this UNESCO award, it belongs in the city, it belongs in Dublin, and we're very emotional today because about 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago, we dreamt about making the city, the fabulous city that it is, to achieve that UNESCO award for Dublin. And with hard work, with commitment, but really with the will of the partnership of the learner. The confidence of the learner has grown so much, I think. Even having this award today, we have learners amongst us. And I think it would be very remiss of us all not to have learners as part of the celebration. And we're absolutely thrilled to have Pat Fitzsimons, who's going to speak about his learning journey. And I think he's very, very inspirational today as well. So, as we said, it's all about inclusion, it's about having the belief, it's about keeping going, it's about never giving up. We know all those words, but I think when we put ourselves in the shoes of the learners, that's when we really can have empathy of what it is like to overcome challenges of lifelong learning. To say that we're overwhelmed is probably an understatement. We're absolutely delighted, we're excited, and words can't really describe, I suppose, the emotions that we're feeling today to be part of this inclusion week in Dublin City. And we believe that it is indeed about promoting inclusion for everyone. We can assure you that the UNESCO award will have huge significance to Dublin. In particular, it can stimulate and support an inclusive learning environment for everyone, for every person feels that they belong. In collaboration with Dublin City Council, our partner educational bodies, and we're delighted to have some of them here with us today, in particular Marino Institute, so thanks Teresa and Sean for coming along, and for Derval coming from the National College of Art and Design. I myself work in the Institute of Art, Design and Technology in Dún Laoghaire. We're partnered also with UCD and with Trinity College, the Royal College of Surgeons, and other colleges as well that are not formally part of our linkage, but who will be in the near future, I'm sure. And very importantly, our partnership with Dublin City Council has really helped us to achieve our UNESCO Learning City Award and the City of Dublin Education and Training Board, as well as Dublin Laoghaire Education and Training Board. And all of our community stakeholders are learners, and Dublin City, as I said, has enormous potential to stimulate and support learning amongst every single citizen. The UNESCO Learning City Award will help us to achieve this potential and strengthen our commitment to the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. The award recognises the significant strides that Dublin Learning City has made to create an inclusive, and let's not forget that word, inclusive, learning environment by implementing UNESCO's global guiding principles for sustainable development into best practice, particularly, as Alison mentioned, our Lord Mayor, the fourth goal to ensure an inclusive and equitable education and to promote lifelong learning opportunities for everyone, a goal that is always at the forefront of everything that we undertake. Considering the challenges that we have faced over the last 20 months, and it's so nice, can I just say, to see people in person today, because many of us have been speaking on a daily, weekly basis over Zoom, over Teams for the last 20 months, but to actually see people in person, it's actually a very moving experience. But it has said that lifelong learning has never been more important than it is today. If there is one positive that can be taken from COVID, it is that it has forced us to find new ways of learning, new ways of succeeding, and to be more flexible in our approach to learning. It has also led to the emergence of new and more innovative ways of reaching our learners who may have been deterred from learning in the past. And we are now branching out and we're trying new things. Earlier this year, we hosted our very first Dublin Learning City Festival as a virtual event. We have had learning festivals before, in-person events, but this year we reached 8,000 participants, and I think that was a fantastic achievement. It may not have happened without the use of our online technology, so that has been a great improvement. So there are great, I think, achievements that have happened as a result of our new ways of learning. We hosted a wide range of events for a diverse range of audiences, from early school leavers to actively retired. Literally, there was something in that learning festival for everyone. Our main aim was to inspire and to encourage people to believe in themselves, to get involved, to learn, to never give up, and to realise that learning can be fun and it can be celebrated in an inclusive way. More importantly, we have heard about learner voices. We need to listen more, I think, to learner voices, to those that are willing to share their experience of what it has been like for them to overcome those obstacles, to go to college, to learn, to try again, to share with us their personal journey and how it was for them to achieve their goal. And they, I think you'll agree with me, are our true heroes, and a reminder that it is important that we put the learner at the heart of everything we do. We're absolutely delighted, I think you'll agree, to win this award. It is indeed a very prestigious honour that recognises the much work that has gone into creating an inclusive learning environment in our city, not just for those who can afford it, but I think you'll agree with me, most importantly, for those people who cannot afford it. Building a healthy, resilient learning city is one of our key goals, and to continue to do that. I think you'd agree with me, there is much work that has already been done, but to paraphrase a famous quote, this is not the end, nor indeed the beginning of the end, but it is the end of the beginning. Without further ado, I just want to wholeheartedly thank all the people who made today happen, who enabled us to achieve the Unesco Learning City Award. I want to start out with the learners. I want to really thank each and every one of you. You're not all maybe here today, but you're in the city, you might be in your homes, or you mightn't even thought that you were a learner. We want to encourage you to realise that learning happens every single day, every minute of the day, and there's no age limit, or there's no space limit, that it can happen everywhere. So we want to thank you for a start. We also really want to thank Emer Murphy, our coordinator, who's based in Marino Institute, and Sean, who's here today, my co-chair, because without them, I think it would have been very difficult. I also want to thank Teresa and Derval and all the people, Anna Kelly, who's not here, and all the others. And I know it's a bit of a mistake to start naming people because there are so many people that I could forget, and Limelight also, that really helped us to put our online event in place, so thank you. But most importantly, I want to thank Dublin City Council, the Education and Training Boards, and I can't forget the support that we've gotten from all the Lord Mayors, in particular Lord Mayor Alison Gilliland. Thank you very much for making it happen. Really, it was a dream. It was unimaginable sometimes, and we had to overcome the challenges, but we never give up. Thank you for making the dream a reality. And I want to pass over to Pat Fitzsimons, who is a true hero, who has had his challenges as a lifelong learner, but he is now an award-winning graduate of IADT. And thank you, Pat. I want to leave the final words from Dublin Learning City from my part to you, and to thank Alison Gilliland, Lord Mayor Alison Gilliland, and to hand over the award to her today as well. Thank you.
Please forgive me, I'm a bit nervous. Lord Mayor, Denise, Emer, and County Council. I don't know what to say, I'm a little bit stuck for words, but the only thing I probably can say is just a quick background about my life as regards to education. When I was younger, my first day at school wasn't the best day at school. I was bullied when I was very young. And what happened was my lunch was taken from me in the yard, and I was really looking forward to it. It was a macaroon bar and a packet of crisps. but it was taken from me, and I cried all that day. And just from that incident, I hated school. I didn't want to be there anymore. That was my first day at school. So after that then, because I didn't like school, I wouldn't learn. I don't know if you say a stubborn student or back then or a child, but I just didn't want to be there. And as time was going on and they recognised that I wasn't a good student, I would also be put in front of the class or put in a corner, and I was made an example of what not to be. This is a very bad student. Don't be like this person here. And my memories was also the cane and the straps. That was my memories. And so it's not great memories for me. Now, of course, for me to be in college, to me to have a degree, no. Me? Impossible. But what happened was, when I got older, I didn't learn to read, by the way, till I was 18 years of age. I must tell you that as well. So I couldn't read until I was 18 years of age. I worked at the building, and I became a plasterer by trade. So that helped me with regards to surviving in the world, having finance, and even having a mortgage and a home, because the trade helped me there. I was good with my hands. That's where my art comes in, and my creativity. But where I was really bad at was reading and writing. I couldn't even do, write letters, or a bank statement would be a great challenge to me. So thankfully, my ex-wife, she would do all that part of it for me, and I just done the work and got the money to come into their home. So that's how I survived out there in the world. But when I got a bit older, I went to an art class. It was in the evening time, and there was a teacher named Karen, great artist. And I started to do art, and she loved me work. She said, "Pat, you have a bit of skill here. Do you ever think about college?" And I said, "College? No, me for college?" I says, "Karen, I don't have any qualifications. My education background is none." And she said, "But I think college would be a great thing for you. I think art college is where you should go. And I believe you'd be a great benefit to you." And I said, "Oh, I don't know. What do I have to do?" So what I had to do was, she said, "Well, there's only two subjects, maths and English. And you just have to pass them." Now, I was really nervous, but I only done low maths and low English. It wasn't, the top end of the scale, as it were. It was just to get the pass. So I got the pass, and once I'd done that then, I was able to apply then for college. But my next challenge after that, believe it or not, was applying for the Susie grant. Because application, writing, things I've never done before, things that were very strange to me. Actually, I was very frightened and nervous. But I met a chap called Owen in IRDT. This is when I was leaving my portfolio in to IRDT to hope to become a student. And Owen got to know me, and he says, "Pat, don't worry, I'll help you." And he helped me with my application. And I couldn't believe that Susie then gave me the grant. I was still trying to pinch myself. Why did they give me a grant? Did they realise it's me they're giving it to? Who am I? But I got the grant. And then my portfolio, I got the top marks for it, which was 600 points. And that amazed me. I wasn't expecting that. And so then I got to college. Then when I got to college then, my other challenge was fear. Fear of dropping out. Because every day I did feel like walking out the gate. I did feel this was too much for me. I'm not really able for this. But thankfully, the likes of Denise and the Learning Support Centre, Loretta, she's probably not here today, Dr. Thomas Duffy, the academic tutor in AIDT, and many of the tutors. There's a list of names I can go on with. But they believed in me, and they made me feel welcome. Said, Pat, don't give up. Whenever you feel like you want to walk out the gate, talk to us. Let us know. Because that's what happens. When we're frightened and nervous, we keep to ourselves. We don't talk how we feel. See, education is great for the head knowledge. And it's great probably, to go back to education. But more importantly, it's the inner person, how one feels. What's the student really, feeling inside? And I'd always recommend, if I can do it, they can do it. And if you are a student or ever think about education, please go back to college and try and find your voice, because I didn't have a voice for many, many years. I didn't feel part of society. I didn't feel I belonged at times. I was just struggling on my own. And especially when you're not educated, it's very embarrassing. Especially if you're with people who are very educated. You can feel very, very small. You really do. It's not that you want to feel that way, it's the way you feel. But believe me, these things are changing. Even now, I can't believe I'm here today. And I'm shaking actually with nerves. I mightn't look that way, but I am. But that's thanks to AIDT and their belief in me. And I really believe in this programme. In conclusion, is that the right word? And integration. And I was just looking up there in my phone before I grew up. It means mixing and togetherness. And we're together today. So I just want to thank all of you very much for this opportunity for me to say this. And that's all I really have to say. Thanks very much.
Wow, what a story. Thank you so much, Pat, for sharing your story with us. Wonderful and very inspiring indeed. I would like to now call Denise Mcmurray back, and she will officially present this wonderful award to the Lord Mayor on behalf of the city. Will Sean Delaney please join as well? And Emer. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much for your hard work. And I think as Patrick beautifully illustrated there, it's not just about the people that we see up here today. There's lots and lots of people who have made this possible, and thank you to them all as well. We're about finishing the proceedings for today, and I would like to invite back Dahi Downey to close us off for the day. Thank you, Dahi.
Thank you, Joy. It just gives me great pleasure to bring the proceedings to a conclusion this morning, and I do want to say a few thank yous, quick thank yous, of course, first to Ordfera, Alison, Gilliland for being here this morning, but particularly to everybody who's been part of making this happen. This is a full week of activities, online and in person, a real opportunity for us to celebrate, I think, actually, the requirement that we need to continue to focus on. And I'm really struck from Pat's contribution this morning. That's really grounded us all in what we're here for. So I want to say a special thank you to Pat for that. That was an excellent thing. To my colleagues and my team and everybody in Dublin City Council who's worked really, really hard on this, thank you all. To Catherine and to her team as well. And a small reminder that if you fancy a little cup of coffee and a sticky bun and a chat, we're in the Silk Road Cafe, Chester Beatty around the corner. We'd love to see you there. So, Gormila Mahagwav and Araiglev. Thank you.